Hello, welcome to another episode of Wild Living with Sunny. I'm joining you from northern Minnesota, here visiting my mom for a few days. And the closest town to my mom is Cass Lake on the Leech Lake Reservation. So we're going to be out harvesting cattails. Cattails are a really great traditional food of the Anishinaabe people. Chippewa, or Ojibwe as they're also known, and so we want to keep those traditional foods alive, and let's head out and see what we can find. Alright, so I'm standing in a really beautiful patch of common cattails. There are also narrow-leaved cattails, and I've heard that the two can actually crossbreed, so you get some various hybrids of the two. So in this common cattail patch that I'm standing in, I can notice the leftover dried out seed heads from last year. So that's a really great indicator of the plant that I'm looking for. And then to harvest, I simply bend down and I'm looking for the new growth, the shoots. And I find my stalk here, put my hand down and just gently, ooh, that one doesn't want to come, so I guess it wants to live a little longer. Pull down, and I got that one. Go to some more here. So there are a few lookalike plants that you want to make sure and keep your eyes out. You always want to make sure that the cattail tastes good, okay? If you get a cattail that tastes really bitter or very spicy, stay away from it. It's not something you should be eating. One of the common ones that get mistaken to beginners when looking for cattails is the iris. This flag iris here grows in a similar environment, and unlike the cattail, which has a round stalk, this has a very flat one. So once you start peeling these outside layers, and if you would be to try and eat this, it would be very bitter. I cannot say from experience because I haven't tried it, but I don't intend to. So stay away from this one and make sure that you are noticing the difference between this and our common cattail here with its circular stalk. Alright, so we've gone out and harvested our cattails. Now we need to process them up. All I do is I take my thumbnail and I slide it down the stalk here and use that slit to help peel off the outside layers. Okay, they're very fibrous-y and inedible. So I keep doing that until I reach a nice, yummy center core, and it's kind of similar to a green onion, so to speak, not in flavor, but in the fact that you have to peel off some of that outside layer to reach the nice center core. So once I get to this point, then I'm going to go ahead and make a soup out of mine, and I'm going to slice them up. Use your culinary imagination to incorporate them into any dish. They're a very mild flavored wild vegetable, sometimes likened to a cucumber or mild zucchini flavor, edible both raw or cooked. I'm going to put these into a soup. There are lots and lots of different edible parts to the cattail. It's oftentimes referred to again as the supermarket of wild foods. You can eat the rhizomes virtually throughout the year. There is a starch that comes off of the rhizomes. You can eat the little corms, the new growth that starts to form off of the rhizomes. You can, of course, eat these shoots here. You can eat the male parts of the flowers before they have matured, and then after they mature and they begin to shed their pollen, you can gather that pollen and use that in a lot of ways that you would use a regular flower. So the whole plant is very nutritious, providing a lot of great nutrition. It's a very abundant plant, and it's found virtually around the world except for Antarctica. So keep your eyes peeled and get your knives ready so that you can start peeling your own cattails. Alright, so I have my cut up cattails here, and I had them soaking in water as I was cutting them, and I've drained off the water, and I'm ready to make some curried cattail soup. I got the idea from a great little cookbook called The Wild Food Gourmet, and I did change my recipe around a little bit from the original one, but let me show you how to do it. I've got some onions that I have been sauteing in butter, and they're now translucent. I put in a little pinch of garlic powder, and I'm ready to go ahead and add my cattails. Okay, I'm making a really big batch of soup here, so the recipe that I'll be posting on the website will be for 4. I'm going to stir this around and add a little splash of Bragg's liquid aminos. It's similar to soy sauce. So just to kind of pull a full-bodied flavor in the soup. I'll stir this up, and then I'm going to turn up my heat a hair here and sprinkle a little bit of flour on top of my soup to just thicken it up a hair. I'm going to stir that in, and then next I will add my curry powder. All right, and I'll keep stirring this here for a little bit. Cattails are a really, really old plant on the planet. I just love to think about all of the different climate changes they've been through. I mean, they lived when the dinosaurs were around. So next I'm going to go ahead and add some chicken stock. If you're sticking with a vegetarian diet, just simply add some vegetable broth. And I'll top it up and let it cook for probably about 5 more minutes and serve. Here's our curried cattail soup cooking up. I'm gonna just very gently cook it for about 3 to 5 minutes and then go ahead and serve it up. If you'd like to see this recipe, be sure to visit my website, www.wildfoodplants.com, and tune in for another episode of Wild Living with Sunny.